Okay. Well, let's get started. This is our short Friday morning class. Oh, let's see. We're going to start on our backs today. And we're just moving for half an hour. So we're just going to get straight to movement. Let me turn on my clock so I know what time it is. I'm not generally very good at sticking to a short time, but we're going to do it today. Let's start on our backs. Lay flat on your back with your feet, with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And just let yourself settle here. You can rock a little your pelvis from side to side. Bring your hands to your low belly, right on your pelvis. And close your eyes and just kind of let yourself settle into your breath here. And feel the back of your head on the floor. Feel the backs of your shoulders relax down. And feel the whole length of your rib cage, even those lowest ribs. And find that natural space underneath your lumbar spine, your lower back. And feel the back of your pelvis just resting on the floor. And you can invite your breath down into your hands on that low belly. Bringing to mind that canister of your center. Think of your diaphragm at the base of your rib cage as the top. Your diamond-shaped pelvic floor as the bottom. And see if you can feel the relationship of your diaphragm with your pelvic floor. As you inhale, that diaphragm expands down into your belly cavity. And you can feel some expansion in your pelvic floor. And as you exhale, that diaphragm domes up into your rib cage to push the air out of your lungs, and your pelvic floor draws up and in. And feel your rib cage expand into the floor underneath you, out to the sides. Just one more breath and stillness there, just to get settled. And then hug your knees into your chest. Just find a little bit of rocking from side to side. Take your hands on your kneecaps and just stir those knees in circles. One way and then the other way. And then just hold on to that left shin and lengthen your right leg up toward the ceiling. And it doesn't need to be all the way straight. Pay attention to those natural curves on your lower back. So even though you're pulling your pelvis up, see if you can find some space under your lower back. And then just find some ankle circles with that right foot one direction a few times and then the other direction. You can go back and forth. And then just drop that leg to hover above the floor. Bend your knee back in toward your chest and lengthen it up. So big pedaling motion, like riding a bike. Just keep flexing through that ankle. Lengthen. Next time your knee comes into your chest, we'll just switch directions. So just push your foot away and then lift that straight up leg up, bend into your chest, push it away, lift up. Last time, push it away. Lengthen that right leg, really hug that left knee in. Let your right knee hover, lengthen through the front of that right hip. And then just switch sides. Hug that right knee in, left leg straight up, flex through that foot and find your circles. Go each direction a couple of times. And then just drop that leg straight down. Bend your knee in towards your chest and lengthen up. And just do that for a few rounds, big pedaling motion. Just kind of getting acquainted with your hip. Next time your knee comes into your chest, then straighten that leg straight forward and we'll just switch directions. Into chest and then push it forward. And then when your leg gets straight, just pause, let that heel hover. Find the natural curves of your spine. Really hug that right thigh in as you lengthen through the front of that left hip. And then bend both knees, bring your feet to the floor. Interlace your fingers and reach them up toward the ceiling. Push into your feet, lift your hips, and then just bring your hands towards your heart. And then lower your hips down, reach your knuckles toward the ceiling. So we just got this pumping action with our arms. Feel the space between your shoulders or your shoulder blades on the floor. As you push into your feet, lift your hips and lower down. One more round there. Lower down and then just push your palms away. Reach your arms overhead, but keep those low ribs connected with the floor. So your hands don't need to touch the floor overhead. Try to get your shoulders to move independently of your rib cage here. And this morning, my hands aren't going to go to the floor. It's morning time. And then just release your arms along your sides. Do one more bridge thing. So see if you can lift your spine sequentially off the floor. Lift up that pelvis. One vertebrae at a time. Come up, not to your highest bridge. Let your rib cage stay pretty heavy. And we'll just march here. So push into your left foot and let your right foot float. And then switch sides. Now you can lift your knee as high as you want to. And actually lifting less brings a little more load to that grounded leg. So just go back and forth, just little marches. And then release your way down. Float your feet up off the floor and just find a 90-degree angle here. And then you can float your arms up toward the ceiling. Here, let me switch my view. And we'll just do a dead bug here. So tap your right foot to the floor and lengthen open your left arm up overhead. And then come back to center. Same thing on the other side. Try to keep those natural curves of your spine. Try to keep your spine neutral the whole time. And you can start tapping your heels maybe a little further away. Just this contralateral movement. Right leg, left arm. Left leg, right arm. And then pause here in your little dead bug pose. Drop your right knee and your right arm over to the right, and then let your left arm and left leg follow. Roll to your side, and then we're just going to peel ourselves open. So start at left side until your right side has to follow, and we'll roll to the left. And just go back and forth. Try to do this in a smooth and controlled way, so not a floppy way. Massage your back of your head, massage your back and your pelvis. Okay, the next time we roll to the right, you're going to straighten your left leg and use the momentum. You can use your right arm to come up to seated. Your right knee's bent, right foot's to that left inner thigh. Bend through this left knee to pull your heart forward, and then straighten through that leg to let yourself sit back up. And just feel all this back body moving. And just find a wave here in your spine. One more wave there. And then plant your hands behind you, bend into that left knee and just set yourself up so both feet are on the floor. Play with your wrists here. And we'll come up into a reverse table a few times. So just play with the angle of your wrists or on fists. We're just starting to load our wrists here. Push into your feet, lift your hips. And then you can lower down, maybe switch your hands. Let's just do one more. And then we're going to roll over and come onto hands and knees. Make your way onto your hands and knees. And again, just play with your wrist, loading a few times. Get the backs of your wrists down and then sway from side to side. Or I guess the backs of your hands. Fingers are pointing toward each other. And then plant your hands down, tuck your toes, and just float your knees up off the floor. Feel like you're dragging your hands back and your knees forward. Try to keep a neutral spine. And just hover here in a beast, just knees hovering. Draw those lower ribs in. And then lower your knees down. Step your right foot toward your right wrist, and we're just going to sit on this left heel and lean some weight into your bent right knee. So you're stretching through the back of your right Achilles tendon. This combat stance. Just take one more breath there. Stretching through that ankle, Achilles tendon, lower calf. And then plant your fingertips on the floor. Plant into that right foot and make sure your toes are pointing straight forward, and we'll lift up into a standing split. And your left leg does not need to be super high. Try to square your hips toward the floor. And you can bend into that right knee as much as you need to. Now bend both knees, tap your left knee to the back of your right calf, and then push into that right foot to lengthen back out. And do that again. 2, 3. One more. 4. And then step that left foot back. Find a high lunge. Keep that left heel lifted. Float your hands back by your hips and then inhale yourself up for a high lunge. You can reach your arms high. And just pause here, engage through that left glute. Bend into that right knee. And then float yourself halfway forward. Bring your hands back by your hips. And then externally rotate your arms so your palms are facing out. And then internally rotate so you're drawing your shoulders toward each other, but your palms face out again. Do that a few times. And then see if you can lift your arms up a little bit higher behind you as you lean into that right glute. Just enjoy having a right hip. Internal, external rotation of those arms. One long line from that left heel out through the crown of your head. And then push into that right heel. We're going to come into a warrior three. Just float your left leg up. And then step forward. Come all the way to standing. Shake out. I don't know about you, but that right leg is tired. And then find your mountain pose. Just collect your breath. Let your palms face forward. Find your neutral spine here standing. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward over your legs, soften through your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend through your knees, lift your heels, and just kind of come to a balance here on your toes. Now you can bring your hands to the floor in front of you, or you can keep your hands lifted. See if you can bring those knees to the floor. And then bring them up and bring your heels to the floor. We're just going to work through our feet here. You can have a chair or blocks in front of you, or you can use the floor as much as you need to. We're kind of coming down to this toe squat, bringing your knees to the floor, lifting your knees back up and coming into a chair. And next time your knees come down, just untuck your toes, cross your ankles underneath you, sit your bum back, and we're going to come all the way back down onto the floor. Let's do that marching bridge, just a few rounds. Draw your shoulder blades together, push into your feet, lift your hips. And your rib cage can stay pretty heavy here. Tailbone's pointing toward your knees, and then just float one foot and then the other, back and forth. Here. Try to keep your pelvis level. Use that glute strength. One more on each side. And then lower yourself down. Lift your shins to be parallel with the ceiling. Reach your arms up. And then tap that right foot away from you as your left arm reaches up. Come back. And the other side. Just back and forth here. Your dead bug. With a really stable spine. Use the feedback of the floor to keep those natural curves. So let even your low ribs be on the floor, but find the space under your lower back. So you've got this responsive stability around your core, and let your breath be 360 degrees around your rib cage. Left leg, right arm, last time. And then let your left arm, your left leg fall to the left, and then let yourself roll. And then peel yourself open. Let your left arm and left leg follow as you roll to your right. Let's go back, left, and right. Next time we roll over to the left, you'll straighten that right leg. You can use your left forearm to push you up. So long right leg, left foot in, and then bend. Feel like you're pulling that heel back as you reach your heart over that right leg and then push it away to come up. And just wave here. My hamstrings are always super tight first thing in the morning. Just see how they feel. Last one. And then bend that right knee. Set yourself up for reverse table. You can play with it a little differently this time if you want. Maybe straighten one leg, draw your shoulder blades together and lift up with one leg. And then you can just switch from side to side and just really play with that load on your wrists and the angle of your shoulders, finding some extension through that upper back. And then this last one, if you want to try both legs straight, I like fingers pointing toward my bum. Push into your hands, lift both hips, bring your feet to the floor, and then lower. We're gonna roll over to hands and knees. And this time, push into your hands and then push the floor away, spread your shoulder blades apart, and then draw your shoulder blades together. So you're moving just your sternum, your pelvis is staying still. Shoulder blades apart, shoulder blades together. Do that. And now tuck your toes, float your knees. The same thing. Shoulder blades together, shoulder blades apart. So your rib cage is still, your pelvis is still. You're just moving through your shoulder blades. Feel like you're dragging your hands back towards your knees. And then bring those knees down. Step that left foot forward, sorry. And then just sit on that right heel. Bend deeply into that left knee and just lean your weight onto your left thigh. As you reach forward, find the counterweight of your arms and just lengthen through your left Achilles tendon and calf. And then plant your hands, come in up into that standing split. So push through that left foot and lift your right leg. You can stay bent in your left knee. You can have blocks or a chair here or fingertips on the floor. And then see if you can dial this right hip down so your hips are square with the floor. Bend both knees, tap your right knee to the back of your left calf, and then lengthen up. 2. Move with your breath. 3. 4. 5. Lengthen up. And then drop those right toes down and find your high lunge here. And just settle in for a breath. Push into that right big toe ball mound and firmly root down into the tripod of your left foot. So feel the center of your heel, feel your big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound. Reach your arms high. And then come halfway forward, really lengthen. Extend those arms behind you, turn your palms out, elbow creases out. And now turn your biceps towards your rib cage. Rotate to turn your palms out the other way. And just find this motion here. Trying to be long line from your right heel out through the crown of your head as you externally and internally rotate those shoulders. Enjoy having a left hip. Find your palms face out. Lean forward, float those right legs, that right leg up into a warrior 3. Pause there, and then come all the way to standing and shake it out. And find your mountain pose. Palms face forward. Just collect your breath. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward, soften your knees so you can really hinge at your hips here. So come halfway down and really send your sitting bones back, and you can even feel your sacrum here. See if you can untuck your tailbone so you're not hinging in your lower back. You're hinging from your hip right here. So bend your knees as much as you need to, and turn on your hamstrings so you can kind of feel like you're pulling your heels toward the back of your mat with just that slight bend in your knees. So you're turning your hamstrings on. Use that hamstring strength to come back up to standing. Okay, and now send those sitting bones back. You can find that little bend in your knees and keep some engagement in your hamstrings as you come forward, and just hinge at your hips. We're just going to do that a few more times. Halfway forward to a flat back, really sending your bum back. And then use your hamstring strength to lift you up to standing. And this time, come forward, you're halfway. And then let yourself, you can round a little bit through your back to fold and hang. You might even sway from side to side. And then bend into your knees. And we're just going to come all the way down to seated. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. You can hold on to your outer feet or ankles. And then lean forward enough that you can get your elbows in contact with your inner thighs. And if you really find your tailbone tucking underneath you, then sit on a folded blanket or something. I want you to really think about the space between your pubic bone and your tailbone becoming parallel with the floor and finding space. So you're not shortening that space by drawing your tailbone toward your pubic bone. You're actually lengthening that space. Okay, so just think of that. And find that connection with your elbows into your inner thighs, and then push your inner thighs into your elbows as much as you can. Just push, 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 push. Push. And then keep your elbows exactly where they are. Use your muscular strength to draw your knees toward the floor away from your elbows and find some space. Okay. So your elbows don't move, but your legs are away from your elbows now because you're using your muscular strength to pull them down. Maybe fold forward a little more and find that contact. And we'll just do that one more time. So from this new place, push your inner thighs into your elbows, elbows into inner thighs. Push, push, push. And then find some space. Keep your elbows exactly where they are. Use your muscular strength to draw your knees toward the floor. You've got a little bit of space between your elbows and your legs. And then you can just let go of all that effort and let yourself fold here. And relax. And turn back into your breath. And then come back up. You have an option here either to come down onto your back for relaxation or just to find a comfortable seat for some seated meditation for as long as you'd like. We're just a little over our half-hour mark. So wherever you are, just find whatever final movements your body is craving. Come back to your breath. Feel the aliveness in your body. Feel your heartbeat. And let your breath and heart rate just come back to normal. So just stay wherever you are, seated or laying, until you really feel calm in your whole nervous system. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Namaste. Thanks, ladies.
Hey, Jess. For some reason, I got it in my head that we started at 7:45. So I'm like just sitting here waiting. And then I just checked my email for some strange reason I saw, and I was like, oh, shoot.
Oh, bummer. Well, the recording will be on there just right away. So
Go back and do it.
yeah, you can go back and do it. Bummer.
I know. It's okay. It's,
Yeah. Well, I didn't send the email. I forgot to add it to the Thursday email, and for the reminder of the Thursday night class. And then and I was like, oh, I need to remind people that we're gonna do it in the morning. Oh well.
And I'm not super good at checking my email. It's just not one of those things that's on my priority list. And so sometimes it happens every day, sometimes it doesn't. And, it's just what it is.
Yeah, I totally understand. It's good to see you, Jeannie.
It's good to see you.
You were here pretty close to the beginning.
Yeah, I got like 7:20,
okay,
around there, like later, because I, like Jennifer, I was like, had in my head 7:30. So clearly we had talked about 7:15, 7:30, 7:45, and all of those numbers were like in my head.
Yeah, we I think we did mention because I was like, should we start at 7:15? And said it 7:15.
Yeah.
7:15 to 7:45, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and I checked my email, and then that's when I saw it, and I was like, oh shoot, I didn't get it.
Well, the recording's will be up, but next week for sure we'll all be on the same page.
Sounds great.
It's good. It's going to be challenging for me to do 30-minute classes, but that'll be nice. People have been asking for shorter recordings, and
it's great.
Yeah,
it was great. Good way to wake up.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, have a good day, everyone.
You too. Hey, Jessica, I have a comment for Monday. And Jennifer, I don't know if you ever want to join us on our field trips at all. But on Monday, Wayne Abernathy, who works in the singles ward right now, but he was in my home ward growing up. He is coming on Monday. He does Civil War reenactments. So Jessica, I was going to say that on Monday, I think I'd want Ben to listen to what Wayne is saying. And I don't know how Hunter would do. And, it's going to be like a 45-minute discussion where he's going to be talking about Antietam and Gettysburg. So I don't know, attention span, I don't know how Ben will do, but it should be, he's going to come in his full gear and
awesome.
Talk about the reenactment. So that's at 10 on Monday. And then Jennifer, on October 30th, we're going down to Richmond Battlefield Park and Belle Isle. And we also, Sarah Price has arranged for us to have a tour of the White House of the Confederacy.
Oh, that would be so much fun. I can't do those days, but definitely keep me in the loop. We usually have our regular co-op on Mondays. this next week we're going to Great Country Farms on Tuesday because we alternate. Like 1 week we'll do class and one friend teaches science and I do music, and then the next week we'll have like a field trip type thing. So, but this Monday I'm getting a new car.
Yay!
My van, it just totally died, and I'm like, but it was bound to happen sooner or later. So
yeah,
my van is in a similar spot where I'm like, it's got 240,000 miles on it, and it's a 2010. But I'm like, if I can just get through Emmeline's mission, then after the mission, I'll get a new car. But I want to have my kitchen redone. So I'm like, I can't do anything. I need to have my kitchen redone.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Leanne. We're just actually getting done, Leanne. I'm sorry. Leanne's just getting on.
Well, have fun.
Definitely keep me in the loop for the whatever you guys do field trip wise, because we're always looking for fun things to do.
Well, we're going to go to Gettysburg. I'm trying to remember the date in November. That's our next big one, is to go to Gettysburg.
Oh, fun.
And our field trips are on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have anything on Fridays, so that works great.
Yeah. Yeah. So the
don't.
Richmond is on Friday, the 30th. It's, the day before Halloween. We'll be down there, but